What are the challenges you have faced in your project? We faced different challenges in our current as well as previous projects. I will give you a summary of those. We have developed a project for more than 1 year. It was not deployed to production. It was in our testing environment. Everything is working fine in OT. We got a green signal to move production after testing it in pre-prod. After moving the code from OT to pre-production environment, we faced different issues. Triggers are failing because of DML, SOAK errors. Batch classes are falling because of CPU timeout and heap size errors. While loading data, we have received DML, SOAK errors in triggers. When loading data, ideally triggers should be able to handle bulk data, but they failed since DML statements and SOAK statements are written inside for loop. Ideally, in single transaction, we can use only 150 DML statements, 100 SOAK statements. To solve 101 SOAK query error, we have removed SOAK statements inside for loop and declared map outside of for loop to store data in single call, and we have used this map inside for loop to get data. And to solve 151 DML error, we have declared a list variable outside of for loop to store data, and we have added data to that variable inside the for loop, and we have removed the DML statement which is inside for loop, and we have performed DML on the list variable out of the for loop. While running batches, we have received CPU timeout and heap size errors. Since the limit stating that any single asynchronous transaction should be completed within 60 seconds and synchronous transaction need to be completed in 15 seconds, when the batch class single transaction failed to execute within 60 seconds, we will receive CPU timeout error. Since we have more data to handle in staging than OT environment, we didn't receive this error in OT, but we have received it in pre-production. To solve this one, we have checked any unnecessary data we are retrieving or not. If possible, we have added some more filter conditions to retrieve less data. We have reduced nested for loop since this will cause CPU timeout. And we have changed the logic. Instead of using contains keywords, we use the get method with null conditions. If still the error is not solved, we have decreased the batch size as much as possible. While running the batch, we have received heap size error for some batches. We have a SFDC limit stating that heap size can be 6 MB for a synchronous transaction, 12 MB for a asynchronous transaction. This 12 MB is the sum of all variables stored data size in our Apex batch class. Since we have more data in staging than OT, we received this error in staging but not in OT. To solve this one, we need to see if we can add a filter condition to SOAK queries. We need to remove unwanted fields from SOAK queries. Instead of storing SOAK data in list variable, we can use SOAK statement directly on for loop to iterate data. If still there is error, we will try to reduce batch size. These are the different challenges I have faced and solutions for each challenge we have implemented.